Hello, everyone, and welcome to our pre-market show. It's the 93rd episode on this Friday, the 13th of March, 2026. I'm Mandela. Let's bring in Andrew because we do have an announcement, some pretty lively announcements that are taking place in about the next 15 seconds or so. Andrew, how are you today, my good friend?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Happy Friday the 13th, and let's see what today brings. Unlucky for some, right? But hopefully we can have a good trading day. So yeah, let's keep an eye out on this news, and then we'll jump into some of the geopolitical events. We'll have a look at some of the news channels, and we'll try and get a balance from maybe the BBC and Fox News as well, so we get both sides of the coin.
I think it would be good to get a very full, wholesome picture of what's going on. We're just waiting here on employment data. Looks like the employment change was worse than expected. Unemployment rate is higher. This is Canada. I beg your pardon. We're looking at GDP here, and it's still pending. We also have JOLTS, job openings, happening in an hour and a half.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Just watching the reaction now. So the S&P on the futures is getting a nice push up with that news. So yeah, just see a nice break. I'm actually long on the S&P from
nice
6694, and we're trading now at 6709. So yeah, I'll put that stop loss into break even. So yeah, let's go. Let's see what's happening.
Very nice, very good, very good long trading. I'm very happy to hear that you're in a position, Andrew. Good.
Yeah, so another position we're looking at is Bitcoin. So it jumped in around 70,000. So was bearish on Bitcoin if it broke that 60k level. It didn't. That seems to be the bottom. We did post that into our WhatsApp group. So if anyone's watching, wants to be added into our trading groups, please let us know. But yeah, it's probably 70-30 to the bearish side, right, to the downside. But yeah, we kissed 60k, and we've had a nice push up. I don't know if you can pull that chart up, Mandela. We'll quickly talk about Bitcoin.
This is Bitcoin, right? Okay, let's do that. Yeah, I think you got that pretty spot on, Andrew. This was this last week or the week before last?
I'm thinking it might have been last week. We were talking about it, and we drew in that the channel, right? The price is consolidating for a couple of days. For myself, for those who know quarters theory on trading, so Bitcoin likes to move in whole numbers, right? So there's certain levels that Bitcoin likes to trade at, and once we hit 70k, I've gone long on Bitcoin. Got my stops in at 59. So there's a massive support level there on Bitcoins, which we couldn't break, right? So we just seem to be, looks like we could break out of that channel now. So got in at 70, and I think we're trading around 73 at the moment, right?
Yes. So that's a very good trade. Very good trade on that.
Yeah, so that's actually on my CTI account. So we can share that. And I'm also long on oil as well. And we'll cover some reasons for that later on the show. But before we go on, one thing I would like to do is there's a big event I'm looking forward to on May the 5th. Yes, and I know yourself, Mandela, you're going to be like one of the key speakers there. So looking forward to being there in the crowd, enjoying the good food, and listening to yourselves and the professional traders give us some advice. So do you want to take us through the event?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna just pull up the actual link so that I'm getting everything right. But it's going to be taking place the first Saturday in May, and it will be here in London. I think Andrew will also be there, and we'll bring you on the stage, Andrew. I think it would be nice to get your thoughts and your journey as well. We're going to be talking a bit about psychology. There's going to be also a prop trader CEO. So the founder of City Traders Imperium will be there providing us with a Q&A, telling us a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes for prop firms. And then, like Andrew said, there's going to be 49 or 50 other traders who you can network with, interact with, and we can share ideas. We'll have an after party. So after the conference, there's an after party, and in the after party is where all the fun and the real gems get shared. The quality information gets shared after the conference itself, and we'll get to know one another a lot more after the event. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. I don't get up to the big city often, so day out in London. Yeah, they're gonna let me out to the valleys. So yeah, let's go. But I can't wait. The event, yes, some of the speakers you guys got. So you got yourself, you got Daniel, then you got the guys from Micro Markets as well. Who've been on the show. So it's going to be a great event. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. So thanks for the invite, Mandela. I can't
Of course. This is I just have the website pulled up, and if you can point above your head, Andrew, it's going to be just above our heads is the QR code that takes you here. The website is macromarketsgroup.com, and you can get all the information that you would need to attend the event. Actually, I got a call this week with someone saying they're going to fly from Bermuda to London to attend the event. So it's definitely something not to be missed. And if you want any more information, please feel free to let us know. The date is Saturday, the 2nd of May, and it's an all-day event taking place at the best Radisson in London, Radisson Blu Hotel. So any more information that you do need, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to set you up. Thank you, Andrew, for mentioning that.
Yeah, no, that's great. So we've covered Bitcoin, okay? So long on Bitcoin, hit 70K. So for me, that was my trigger to go long. Take profits open on that trade, and I got to stop in around 59. Actually going to get stopped once we hit 75, or if we hit 75, trying to get our stop into break even. But I think we need to chat in charts.
Here we go.
Where should we start? So let me just have a quick look at the guys in CTI, and okay, so we got the guys. So we got Hats ones there. We got Kryzaka. We got Mamu. We got Appy. We got Wood. We got Brainwalsh. We got Fahad. Yeah, we got a good crowd over on CTI. So yeah, welcome guys, and thanks. And is there anything you want us to look at right now? So should we just have a look at, should we start with gold?
We could do gold. Let's
have a look at gold. A lot of our traders trade gold, right?
Here we go. Yeah, gold is, it's been a little quiet recently. It's going a little bit quiet.
Yeah, just looking at the M5. So, obviously because I'm trading futures, I'm trading a much smaller time frame. Sorry, I'm on the M15, much smaller time frame than you guys, and it's having a little rally today, right? But my surprise for gold is when these events started, was it 2 weeks ago? I expected money to go into gold, and it didn't. It plummeted, right? And we are seeing money going back into crypto, and it would be interesting to see the dollar index, just to see if people are just sitting on their dollars, right? To see where the money's going. But yeah, gold, it's trying to recover from that dip, right? So I know we are a long-term gold trader. So what's your outlook for gold?
It's a good question. So we did get that big dip where everybody was screaming and shouting that gold and silver are crashing, and that was more or less the bottom beginning of February. I think I'm looking at these key Fibonacci's. So from the highs that we saw end of January to the low that we hit 1st of Feb. And if we can stay above the 50% retracement, I think that is bullish. I do think, Andrew, it's going to depend on the war. And the shorter the war is, this brings us back to the topic of the show today. The shorter the war and the more positive news that we get about either a de-escalation or some sort of peace talks or Trump declaring victory, I feel like that's going to push the price of oil down. And as a result, I think those flows are going to move into things like gold. So if the war is short, I'm definitely looking to get some more exposure to gold moving to the upside.
Okay, yeah, that's good. And we do have a request from Appy to look at the NAS. So you can have a look at the NASDAQ.
Okay, thank you, Appy. Appy's in the office. Nice. Yeah, we got a good group of people today.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at the NAS, and then we'll jump on to oil.
Okay, let's do NASDAQ. Here we go. So NAS, I use this one. It was not a great day yesterday for NASDAQ. So this is the last sort of from end of January, and it hasn't really done much. I mean, if I'm going to just draw a range here, it's kind of stayed more or less in here for the last month and a bit since the end of Jan. So all of Feb and into March now, it's not really trending, Andrew. So I think I would say a key sort of line in the sand would be if we can break above 25,400 on the upside. And then if we can also, or if we make a new low here, so this would be a new low of 2026 below 24,000 on NASDAQ.
Yeah. No,
Any thoughts? Great. Any thoughts from you? Because I know you trade S&P, but they're like cousins.
Yeah, but I'm trading on like a 5-minute time frame or a 10-minute time frame. So it's
yeah.
But if I was trading that maybe longer term, yeah, I'd be probably looking to go short, right? I can just see a downtrend, and so for myself, I'm just seeing a downtrend on the NASDAQ at the moment, and I wouldn't be long term. I wouldn't be looking to take long positions unless we look to break that 9-moving average. And I might put, if I was trading the larger time frames, I might be tempted to put a 200 moving average in there, just for some clear direction. But but for myself, I'm just seeing a downward trend. So I think it's 4 candles in that green bullish candle across.
Which side?
Sorry, from your right.
From my right, 4 candles in.
Yeah, that green one.
This one.
Yeah, so on the bottom of that wick, I'd be drawing a line in the sand there, break that, I'd be going short.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
if we I can do that. It's not going to be exact, but that's something like that.
Yeah, so
if we zoom out,
levels.
Yeah, this is kind of where we've come from the April lows. So I could see that. As a possibility.
But what you've done now is just shown a great example. So if in doubt, zoom out, right? It's a trader saying. Now, if you look at that chart, we're actually in an uptrend, right? We're just getting a bit of retracement, we're just getting a pullback. But if I still look at that chart, potentially I'd be looking for a pullback to go long. So it depends what time frame you're trading, right? So if a weekly chart, I don't think as many Forex or definitely no futures traders would be using that chart. I can imagine you longer term investors, they'd be looking for those Fibonacci pullbacks or those, and potentially looking to go long.
I guess it goes to what is your time frame? How are you trading best? And another thing comes to mind, Andrew, is what works for me might not work for you, and what works for you might not work for me. So it's sometimes it's good to kind of think for yourself in some respects.
Yeah, just had a message through now. Gold predict. So Mandela's just covered that about 5 minutes ago, and potentially gold's looking a little bit bullish, right? They're starting to make a recovery, but obviously do your own analysis. You are responsible for your own trades, but do you want to go back to gold quickly, and then we'll have a look at oil?
Yeah, I think we skipped oil last week for some reason, but this is the gold chart on a weekly, daily, 4-hour time frame. I know you like to look a little bit closer than a 4-hour, but we did cover this earlier.
Yeah, so what Mandela's quickly saying, he's just looking at a pullback to 50 retracements level on the Fibonacci, and potentially could be taking a long position, but things change, right? But shall we cover oil, because obviously this war, has pushed the price up, and then we'll do a little bit of a deep dive into potentially, from what I know, what we could be seeing with energies.
Yeah, let's do that. So, oil has been making headlines all over the world. It's still in the headlines. This is, I guess, can we do a 4-hour chart or daily
Yeah.
chart?
Uh,
That gives us the full.
yeah, it gives us the bigger picture, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about oil. Okay, so pretty standard procedure, right? That when there's a war, especially in the Middle East, one of the main producers of oil, the price is going to go up, right? Which we have seen. We do know a lot of the European countries now are looking at releasing their reserves, but that hasn't really, steadied the rise in price. So there's still a lot of uncertainty at the moment with regards to oil. There is news out today now that the US might loosen sanctions on Russian oil. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the news that if sanctions are lifted on Russian oil, we are going to see that flood into the market. And that's something I think I've been talking about for months, right? Was, once they can get that deal between Russia and the Ukraine, which hasn't happened, we would see an influx of oil into the market. But we have the war in Iran, so there might be a concession for Russian oil. So just keep an eye on that. And secondly, as well, the U.S. administration now, they're taking millions of barrels of oil from Venezuela. So it's just something to be aware of. It's not the same quality as what you're getting in the Middle East, but there will be oil. And with regards to Russia as well, not looking to pump directly from Russia, but there are a load of tankers stuck at sea, which are sanctioned. So they could be looking at the release of those tankers. So with oil, I know there's some very aggressive targets of 149 a barrel. I know Iran have been saying that they're going to push the price to 200. And the play from Iran at the moment seems to be that they can't win the war, with bombs and bullets. So it seems to be economics, right? They're going to try and strangle the West. So things like oil, natural gas, certain chemical infrastructures, they could be next to be targeted. So yeah, just keep your eyes out on that. And, oil refineries, so places like Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, we could be seeing attacks from Iran on those, because Iran, again, depleted, right? They've only got, so much ammunition, to keep fighting this war. And potentially they got another 2 or 3 weeks left just before they run out. And if they continue this war for another 2 or 3 weeks, there's not going to be much left of Iran either. So we might see some concessions in the next week. I know Iran did come out with their concessions to Trump, which they're pretty laughable. It's never going to happen, right? So, but I think the economy is what Iran are going to go for, right? They're going to push up, the Western markets, make things more expensive for the normal consumer like you and I. Then that would put a lot of pressure onto the White House and the Trump administration. So, yeah, watch this space for what happens in the next couple of weeks. But just be mindful of Russian oil flowing into the markets. We could see a pullback before the prices go higher.
I think the White House is a very pivotal place right now, and I know there was some talks between Trump and Putin over the last few days, and I do think, like you said, Andrew, there is a thought that this is gonna probably be wrapped up, hopefully sooner than most people think.
Yeah. So, the feedback I received was initially it was going to be several days to 2 weeks. We're going to hit 2 weeks tomorrow. Just for myself, I don't see no end at the moment. Iran are not going to go without a fight. They're going to go screaming and kicking like a little toddler, right? So, and before they do go, it's the Strait of Hormuz, right? That's going to be the key area. Now, I know the US have said they're not going to send the Navy into the Strait yet. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But if Iran do manage to mine or close the Strait of Hormuz, it's really going to push some of those energy prices up higher, especially oil. So yeah, something to keep your eye on, and let's see what happens with Russia. But bad news for the Ukraine, right? So it's just going to allow money into Russia. So economically, it's not great for those guys. So there's going to be a lot of grey tape to get around, and I would say watch your space, especially for the White House briefings.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching very closely today, Andrew. And it's always interesting going into the weekend when you have markets closed on a Saturday and Sunday. People kind of want to be positioned for the weekend. And so I think last week, Friday, people were a little bit unsure what was going to happen with the oil. And then we got the attacks on the oil refineries. The big explosions. Everybody's seen the pictures. That happened on a Saturday. So interested to see going into the close today, how are traders, investors positioning themselves for what could be another unpredictable weekend. And I think maybe the possibility of a de-escalation is not really being considered as much as maybe escalation this weekend, maybe de-escalation in the following weeks. So
yeah, I think we're not going to see a de-escalation until Trump gets what he wants, and that is a regime change. And they're absolutely assured that the nuclear program has been flattened, right? So I would say as well, Israel not going to take their foot off the gas. While they got this opportunity, they're not going to let up. And I think you need to remember, it's not just the USA, Israel are a big player in this as well. It's on their doorstep, so I'm sure they'll be voicing their concerns to the USA as well if there was any concessions. So you're right enough. Yeah. Watch your space over the weekend, and let's see what happens.
I think one thing also, because we talked about Trump's plan, I think Trump's plan is not to crash markets, and it's to keep the oil price under control. And I think he does, like you said, that his plan is to build up towards regime change. I did see something breaking on the news wires that their new supreme leader has been injured. I don't know how substantiated that is.
Yeah, apparently he's in a coma, right? He got some damage to himself. So, if they need to replace him, it's not a job you want to be taking. But, again, I go back to the point with, they can't win the war with bombs and bullets. So, economic pressure, I think that's going to be their best play. And if it starts hurting people in the pocket, public opinion is going to sway against the White House. So, the White House would be, fully mindful of that and what's going on. We're seeing gasoline or petrol prices in the UK. They're starting to rise sharply, and there is discontent with people, right? They're not happy with that. So, and I can imagine that would be worldwide through Europe, through the USA as well. So once people have to start paying out of their pocket, public opinion will change.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
It is true. So the giveaway. So we got some people asking, is the giveaway in the chat? No.
Yes, I put it in the. It is at the very top. I can pin it. It was. I did it. It was on time this time. I did it 2 minutes before we went on. It's now pinned. If you scroll up to the top, you should be able to see it now.
Right.
Anybody who is unable to see it, just a reminder, I guess, Andrew, that we will be giving away a free account to one lucky winner. All you have to do is click the link in the chat, and you'll be able to enter.
Quick question to chat: can you see the link? Because I can't see it. Maybe I'm not scrolling up far enough. I got it.
Let me see if I can find it. You see it?
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did put it up there. One thing I did want to mention, interestingly, also is the seasonality. So with crude oil here, we're seeing this bluish line is 2026. Usually, at least the last 2 years, oil has not gone up over the first 3 months of the year. So just a very clear contrast. When there is a war, oil tends to outperform and to react in a completely unique way. So we are set for a massive start to the year in oil. And what I found also recently is when oil moves down, we see NASDAQ and S&P move higher, and also Bitcoin. So the lower the oil price, the better it is for Bitcoin, S&P, and NASDAQ. So sometimes good to keep an eye on the correlations between oil and your indexes.
Yeah, that's great. Should we do the giveaway? Because I'm going to make them.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Minutes.
Yeah. Of course. Let's do it. Thank you, everybody, for entering. We have, hopefully we've given enough time for everyone to join. I'll just copy and paste. Got a good group of entries today. Let's go. Here we go. Okay, and then let's go. All right, all the best to everyone. Thank you.
Oh.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah, that's probably the fullest I've seen the wheel, right?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. It's working. All right, here we go.
Let's go. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.
And the winner of the $5,000 account is... You want to pronounce that, Andrew?
Huam 2020. Well done, Huam.
There we go. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah. Well done. You will receive your free $5,000 account. Thank you to everybody who joined and who has watched today's show. We've got a lot of people who we haven't seen for a long time today. So thanks, everybody, for joining us today.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll be back next week. I'll give a bit more of a in-depth or high-level brief. I think what's going on from the information that I get. And yeah, happy trading, and thanks to everyone who joined. Mandela, I'll catch you later.
Thank you, Andrew. See you later, man. Amazing. That's it from all of us here at Signature FX. The show is also being brought to you by City Traders Imperium, one of the best prop firms in terms of reliability, accuracy, and customer service. Check out City Traders Imperium. I think today is just, we just got to get ready for the open. Markets are opening in 30 minutes from now, just over 30 minutes from now. So we're going to get ready to prepare for this Friday the 13th open. I just want to actually say a very special shout out to each and every person, because I feel like some days we're unable to mention every single person's name. And today, I kind of want to go through this process. So we've got APPI, we've got Mark in the office, Hats, Cray, Zach is also in the office today. Mamu is present, Wood, CBR, Brian Walsh, Fahad, MyFX Note. It's good to make notes. Haydar is also here, Heli Boy, and looks like we've covered everybody. Sonic Rhythm is also present today. So thank you, everybody, for joining us and being able to share this Friday the 13th with us. From all of us here at Signature FX, I want to say have a wonderful day, and make sure whatever you do today, you do something that you enjoy. Take care, everybody, and happy trading.